Hello everyone, this is Matthew McKenzie here again, from Care in Mind. Just if you're new to this channel, just to let you know, I do a lot of videos raising awareness of unpaid carers. A lot of the focus is on those caring for someone with a mental health condition, or so often I'll focus on cancer. But with this particular video here, I'm going to present just a brief overview of the cross-departmental initiative, which is called the Unpaid Carers Action Plan. I'm afraid this is going to be short. There's a lot more to it than this, than I could ever do it justice. So what I will do is I'll try and include, no, I will include links where you can download the Unpaid Carers Action Plan document. Um, just to learn more about it. It's quite a lot involved, which is what I thought I'd decide to do just a short video just to break things down regarding unpaid carers. So why is this plan important? What does it involve? What are the challenges that's for carers in order to say this plan is needed? Well, basically, for the first time, we have now four major departments, which will be, and I'll show you for the acronyms. We have the Department of Health and Social Care, so that's the DHSC, Department for Business and Trade, so that's DBT, Department for Education, DFE, and Department for Work and Pensions. Now they're trying to work under a single cohesive framework to address the needs of unpaid carers. And basically what this is, as you know, if you're unpaid carer caring for long term, your situations, your challenges, your role doesn't just sit under the focus of one department. It's got to be joined up, not siloed off. So in a nutshell, basically, it means that your health, health and social care, schools, so Department for Education, employers, business and trade, and benefits, support and pensions, they're all working together, functioning as one cohesive unit regarding unpaid carers. Basically, as noted, unpaid carers, like, they just don't fit into one box. When people think of unpaid carers, they just think of Department of Health and Social Care, and that's it. It makes sense really to balance, your health with your job security, your benefits, young carers as well, and also if you're supporting loved ones' education. So over the years, over many years, we've come to make it known that just a single department can't really fix the challenges unpaid carers face as a whole. So to break this down further, there are literally 42 actions included in that unpaid carers plan. You can see them again. I'll put a link to the action plan in the video description to have a look at it. And there's no way I could list them out here. I've decided to go for at least five, I think, which are quite important directives. So we've got the NHS app registration, instant carer flagging for health professionals. That's, I consider, one of the most important ones. If you have a smartphone, do register under the NHS app as a carer, and while you're at it, see if you can make what you call a care contingency plan. Even if your care role is not that heavy, it makes sense that health professionals, if anything happens to you, health professionals have access to your wishes, your information, so things are known. In a nutshell, again, it's just trying to join up things in one area. So we've got other things here: single patient record, links all health data, so you never have to keep repeating your story. You got your Better Care Fund overhaul. Legally forces hospitals, a lot of focus on hospitals in this unpaid cares plan, and I will again touch on this quite a few times in this presentation now, on why hospitals are so important. But anyway, is to place carers at the heart of discharge planning. The more tools you have, if you're caring for someone and it comes to hospital admission, I think the better off it is for yourself and the person that you're caring for. Other things included in that 42 action, we also have the Carers Charter. which is a new upcoming official document clearly outlining your legal rights and entitlements. And then one of the last things I wanted to include out of those 42 actions is workplace accountability. Remember, you got the carers unpaid leave. And then we have what basically is a mandatory carer support plans for large employers. That's over 200, they consider this over 250 plus workers. We're starting in about, as of this video, next year. So there are three pillars to make it simple on this. The first pillar regarding the Unpaid Carers Action Plan is recognise. Again, pointing back to the NHS app. Within the app, you have a dedicated My Care portal, which will launch the NHS app, allowing you to easily register. Remember what I said before, register as a carer. It helps with identification. I think over the years as a care advocate, I've always said to those unpaid carers, do register at your GP surgery, at the hospital, at your care centre, and I'll again touch on care hubs in a bit. And even more importantly now at the community hubs, it's going to be increasingly important. So the point is, and the reason why I'm saying this to unpaid carers is that there has been, in fact, I won't say I would say I know there's been a failure to register unpaid carers. There's just too few not being registered and going without support. So we're putting this in your hands, another option for yourself to register. You can still register the old way, but I say a lot of people have smartphones. Please use the NHS app because it helps involve you in that care planning. Also, a part of Pillar 1, where it comes to recognise, we need to recognise young carers. So NHS England and the Department for Education, they're teaming up with school nursing networks to identify hidden young carers early, ensuring they get that active support they need, so they don't get left behind. And other things regarding Pillar 1, and the key focus is recognise again care passport. So funding is being provided to refresh that national care passport scheme. This is basically a simple standardized record, which makes it easier to communicate your needs to employers, schools, and your NHS Health Trust. So for Pillar 2, we're now looking at refer. So again, hospitals still very important. When it comes to discharge right, the plan steps up implementation of the statutory duty to involve carers in hospital discharge planning from the start, obviously. Included in Pillar 2 is centralized guidance, so basically a comprehensive page which will be looking at caring for someone. This will launch on the government's website during the summer, emerging healthcare working rights and benefit advice. And again, the Better Care Fund, so looking at the auditing, your integrated care boards, and again, social acronyms, basically ICBs, and local councils are being pushed to pool their funds directly to offer targeted local respite and practical support. So you can see from this picture, do look out for the gov.uk website that will provide information for carers all in one place. And the third and last pillar is reach. So again, workplace rights. We're looking at employment support such as carers leave and flexible working. So the government is reviewing paid carers leave. Notice I blurted it earlier before, paid carers leave, and then they changed it unpaid carers leave. But this time that the government is reviewing paid carers leave and making it flexible as a working standard from next year during spring. So again, large employer companies, they must publish those action plans to actively retain working carers rather. And see, the issue with this, why this is needed, is you do have, unfortunately, when people find themselves in a long-term care role, they drop out of work, rather than many people dropping out of work to provide that necessary support for their loved ones. There's got to be more support in the workplace so they can stay in work, but still have that flexibility to provide support. I'm not saying it's going to be 100%, but it's just another layer of support, another buffer, if you could say. So continuing on with Pillar 3, tackling what we call a cliff edge. the Department of Work and Pensions has launched basically a call for evidence to modernize the carers allowance. There's been, unfortunately, previously a lot of issues with allowance carers benefits. So they want to be specifically look at to replace the harsh of cliff edge earnings rule. And lastly, pensions and welfare. So the Independent Pensions Commission has highlighted a massive undersaving risks that we face. Our new recommendations are being built to protect the financial safety and retirement security for unpaid carers. So I suppose lastly, how can you actually hold this plan to account? There are many ways to do this. I'm only listing just very, very minor ways, but there's going to be annual reviews on this. It's a lot. It's a massive unpaid carers plan. So ministers they're mandated to meet annually with carers to review that progress. We also have a focus on hospitals. It's one of the main focus for this plan. So there should be discharge monitoring. I mean, I have a group, which is the Carers Hospital Discharge Meeting, specifically London, but it's sometimes it may involve other NHS trusts outside there. And I think it's important if if you're involved in your NHS hospital or you constantly use those services, it doesn't hurt to have engagement with the NHS Trust to track if they're actually implementing these new rights. There should be someone at that trust that is, I suppose, tasked in regards on how they would work with this Unpaid Carers Action Plan. And one of the most important things is using your care centres in order to see how they work regarding as data hubs where they would use real world feedback, specifically with the NHS app and any respite funding going into the community into unpaid carers, can present hard evidence if this Unpaid Carers Action Plan is actually working. And I want to finish up on this video. I know it's way too short, but I do think this is so important. I couldn't just do a blog and that's it. I wanted to do a video as well. I will revisit this important topic in order to raise more awareness of it or how things are developing. I'd like to say, if this has been of interest, do put in the comments what you think of this Unpaid Carers Action Plan. You might not know it as yet, but the government is interested in getting feedback as soon as. I'd say thanks for watching, and if you like the content, do subscribe. If you're unpaid care, remember to look after yourself, because if you don't, I can look after anyone else. Thank you for watching.